Good Thursday, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Conversation Daily News. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. Well, we made it over the hump, and we're in the home stretch toward the weekend. We, of course, have your news headlines coming up on this Thursday. We have the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich. In today's Entertainment Spotlight, you've been part of my conversation with fashion stylist Cassandra Dittmer, talking about eco-conscious wear. Enjoy today's program. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Thursday headlines. In national news, Biden orders forces to Europe amid stalled Ukraine talks. President Joe Biden is ordering 2,000 U.S.-based troops to Poland and Germany and shifting 1,000 more from Germany to Romania, demonstrating to both allies and foes America's commitment to NATO's eastern flank amid fears of a Russian invasion of Ukraine, the Pentagon said on Wednesday. Russia fired back with a sharply worded objection, calling the deployment unfounded and destructive. Russian President Vladimir Putin also had a new telephone exchange with British Prime Minister Boris Johnson, but readouts from both governments showed no progress, with Putin saying the West was giving no ground on Russia's security concerns, and Johnson expressing deep concern about Russia's hostile activity on the Ukrainian border, referring to Putin's buildup of 100,000 troops there. The Biden administration is aiming to demonstrate U.S. resolve without undermining efforts to find a diplomatic solution to the crisis. Biden notably has not sent military enforcements to the 3 Baltic countries on NATO's eastern flank that are former states of the Soviet Union. No U.S. troops are being sent to Ukraine, and White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki on Wednesday said the administration has stopped calling a Russian invasion imminent because that word implies Washington knows Putin has made a decision to invade. Officials say Putin's intentions remain unclear. However, increasing U.S. troop levels in Eastern Europe is exactly what Putin has said he finds intolerable, along with the prospect of Ukraine joining NATO. The U.S. already has several thousand troops in Poland, and Romania is host to a NATO missile defense system that Russia considers a threat. The U.S. presence in the region has increased since 2014, when Russia made its first invasion of Ukraine. Pentagon Press Secretary John Kirby said the soon-to-deploy U.S. forces are intended to temporarily bolster U.S. and allied defensive positions. In more national news, Ford charged an overdose death of actor Michael K. Williams. 4 men believed to be members of a drug distribution crew have been charged in the overdose death of actor Michael K. Williams 5 months ago, authorities said on Wednesday. All 4 were arrested on Tuesday and were in custody based on criminal complaints in Manhattan federal court, including one defendant who was arrested in Puerto Rico, according to a news release from U.S. Attorney Damian Williams and the New York City Police Commissioner. 3 defendants were scheduled to make initial appearances in Manhattan federal court to face narcotics conspiracy charges alleging the distribution of fentanyl-laced heroin that resulted in the death of Williams, who gained fame playing Omar Little on The Wire. New York City's medical examiner earlier ruled that Williams, 54, died of an acute drug intoxication on September the 6th. He was found dead by family members in his penthouse apartment. At that time, the medical examiner's office ruled Williams' death an accident. The U.S. attorney said the crimes and charges resulted from a public health crisis. According to court papers, Williams' death resulted from drugs sold by a drug trafficking organization that has operated since at least August 2020 in Brooklyn's Williamsburg neighborhood. Authorities said members of the organization sold the actor heroin laced with fentanyl on September the 5th. In more national news, CNN president resigns after relationship with co-worker. CNN President Jeff Zucker abruptly resigned on Wednesday after acknowledging a consensual relationship with another network executive, an entanglement that came to light during an investigation of now fired anchor Chris Cuomo. Zucker said he acknowledged a relationship when asked about it as part of the Cuomo investigation, which revealed that the former anchor had aided his brother, then New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, as he navigated a sexual harassment scandal. "I was required to disclose it when it began, but I didn't," Zucker wrote in the memo announcing the end of his 9-year tenure. "I was wrong." In sports, Washington's NFL team unveils new name as Commanders. Washington has some new commanders in town. The NFL team announced its new name on Wednesday, 18 months after fresh pressure from sponsors helped convince the once storied franchise to drop its old moniker following decades of criticism that it was offensive to Native Americans. The organization committed to avoiding Native American imagery in its rebrand after being called the Washington football team the past 2 seasons. In business news, stocks rise on Wall Street, extending their weekly gains. Stocks edged higher in afternoon trading on Wall Street Wednesday, putting major indexes on track to extend their weekly gains. The S&P 500 rose 0.7%. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 142 points, or 0.4%, and the Nasdaq rose 0.2%. And finally, in entertainment news, Dolly Parton, Eminem, Lionel Richie among Rock Hall nominees. Dolly Parton, Eminem, Lionel Richie, Duran Duran, and A Tribe Called Quest are among this year's first-time nominees for induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's now time for the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich. Mary Ellen, it's all yours.
Hi, this is Mary Ellen with your Truth of the Day. Stay grounded in the present moment. Focusing wholeheartedly on the duties of your day will help you to direct your attention on the obligations that are most important. Worries flee from your mind because worry has no foothold in the now moment. Stay entirely focused on the current now moment as you do your best. There is no thought of failure. Concentrate as you focus on the details of your current project, as you finish your tasks efficiently and effectively. Today, stay grounded in the present moment. Focus as you enjoy the day.
Cassandra Dittmer is featured in today's Entertainment Spotlight right here on Conversation Daily News. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with the Entertainment Spotlight. Fashion stylist Cassandra Dittmer joined me recently on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about how all of us could be more eco-conscious in the things that we wear. Here's a bit of our conversation.
So, Cassandra, I think, the big thing is a lot of times we hear about the importance of being eco-conscious, right? How can all of us kind of embrace different living practices that make us more eco-conscious?
Yeah, I love that you already mentioned that, so many people in your network, we know we want to do better, but we don't know how. Sometimes starting really is the hardest part. People are wanting to be more conscious, more sustainable, and we need to make that more accessible for people. Something I have three kind of guiding principles that help me consider how to make better decisions. So it's 3 E's: how you consider the ethics, the economics, and the environment, and make the best decision possible. And this really can start to guide you on how to embrace or embark on an eco journey, because it's really about redefining sustainability. Sustainability isn't just an organic t-shirt anymore. There's many more values to explore. And an easy way to start thinking about that is by exploring these values. Do you like shopping locally? Are you maybe vegan? Do you prioritize alternative energy sources? And maybe you've considered shopping for other purchases in that way, and can you translate that to
Have brands and also corporations kind of also turned to this idea of being more eco-conscious?
Absolutely. We're really, brands in many industries alike, there's this transparency-driven conversation that it often comes from the consumer. A lot of industries are ahead of fashion in this. We don't have an FDA. There is no nutrition label for your clothing, and people are thinking about other industries that have this and are, now demanding that from fashion brands.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning in to this edition of Conversations Daily News. We'll have you guys on tomorrow to wrap up this week. Until then, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Daily News today. Let's make today amazing. Take care.